stream on.
Or
rd2l season 21. Have half-cast drafting on one team and Minicolt casting on the other.
10초 남았습니다. 5초 남았습니다.
I'm joined here by Jinx and the sound of Bear's keyboard.
금지 영웅을 선택할 차례입니다.
My two favorite guests of the night.
금지 영웅을 선택할 차례입니다.
and the only ones.
We have the Slardar ban coming out. Guessing Minicolt just doesn't want to play against that. We have the Faceless Lord coming out. Staple Minicolt hero. He's won many a game on that.
10초 남았습니다.
I mean, man, this seems pretty much Minicolt just hard carrying, I'm pretty sure.
레디언트 팀 금지 영웅을 선택할 차례입니다.
I mean, they have an immortal level offlaner. I don't think he mains offlane, but I mean, both teams I think are 5 and 7. I'm pretty sure. Let me pull up the rd2l here. Yeah, both teams 5 and 7. Still looking to make playoffs. A 2-0 here either way would put either team in a decent position. Looks like Minicolt team with a little bit better of a tiebreaker. We have Grimstroke ban from the Radiant, Mars ban from the Dire, and a first pick Clockwork. Very solid rd2l support. Just run in, give it to your pause 4, and create a lot of chaos.
5초 남았습니다.
I mean, I think the hero is just Hookshot, Cox, and then just die. Pretty much it. Just go in like a bullet and die. I don't know.
Yeah, if your pause 4 ever gets that sort of solid start, he can definitely make an impact on the game.
Yeah.
Unless your name's Sleepy, then you just hook into my backside.
True. I think when you pick this type of heroes, just go jump. We have to like counter them like super hard draft wise. Not only draft wise but gameplay wise, because you don't want to let them have like a good start, nor the advantage when laning phase is starting. Because the worst you can do, like heroes like this that you just jump people, or it's like giving them what you want. Like Clockwork just needs 6. He's like over though, he's just gonna own everyone, pretty sure.
Yeah,
Same
definitely. I have a Radiant pick coming out from Radiant. Very solid counter to Clockwork. Clockwork loves squishy supports. Ogre doesn't really die if he gets initiated on. Good hero to buff up his carry as well. In PST, do I post in the streams channel? Is that what it is?
Yeah.
Is that for people who are casting? Or is there like another channel I don't see here?
I'm pretty sure there's a stream. That's just a stream, right?
Oh yeah, but like in the other Discords, there's like a difference between streams and
bots.
Whatever. I'm just gonna put it in this one.
Us. They're all out in.
Let's put it in streams. Screw it. We have a Jakiro coming out from Dire, solid pause 5 pick, combos all with the Clockwork, and a Tusk coming out from the Radiant. So both teams choosing to go with their supports early on here.
They want to brawl both teams.
5초 남았습니다.
Very hard.
Tusk very solid save against the Clockwork. Especially if you have a Tusk player. Sometimes if you don't, it can be a little bit rough, but
레디언트 진영이 금지 영웅을 선택할 차례입니다.
I think Tusk is like probably one of the best force right now in the patch. if you know how to play a hero, I think you can just have like a bunch of impact in every lane. Do whatever you want. Like that hero's like insane.
다이아 진영이 금지
Yeah,
영웅을
definitely. You
선택할
have
차례입니다.
the Roche potential as well with the tag team, not to be understated. Have a Sven ban coming up from the Dire, Rookie ban coming up from the Radiant, just trading carry bans.
10초 남았습니다.
Surprising to
I
see that
didn't know.
there aren't any Rice Boi
5초
bans
남았습니다.
coming up from the Dire yet.
I didn't know Half-Cast was the one drafting for this team. It feels kind of weird. I should be Rice Boi. He's a 7, well, X7K player, so he should be like the one drafting, I think.
I mean, it really just
I don't-
depends on how
레디언트 진영이
they feel
금지
the
영웅을
best thing is.
선택할
And okay, we see
차례입니다.
the first Rice Boi ban coming out with the Void Spirit. Definitely one of his best heroes.
금지
PA
영웅을
ban coming out
선택할
from Radiant.
차례입니다.
3 carries out of 4 bans here. Going back to drafting, I think it just depends on how much Rice Boi actually wants to draft. Because I feel like in my season with him,
10초 남았습니다.
he did draft most of the time, but a lot of it was out of
5초
just
남았습니다.
necessity. I think Halfcast probably wanted to try to at least give a different point of view with it.
It's completely valid.
레디언트 진영이
I personally
금지
don't like
영웅을
drafting because
선택할
I think
차례입니다.
I just have to think about
레디언트
everyone's
진영이 영웅을
heroes
선택할
and all that
차례입니다.
shit. It's
I mean, it all just depends
I
on
think-
your team as well. Some teams I've been on are to where all 5 players will talk about it, and sometimes you can barely get a word out of your players on what they actually want to play. We see
10초
Ember Spirit
남았습니다.
ban coming out, another classic Rice Boi hero, and the 4th carry
5초
and 5
남았습니다.
bans for the
다이아
Radiant
진영이
with a
영웅을
Juggernaut.
선택할-
And they go with the
yeah.
Life Stealer, making sure Radiant or make sure Dire doesn't pick up that one. But there are still plenty of carries in the pool. This is a very
They-
large carry patch.
That's Spectre in. I know there's like a counter to Spectre, but I don't think if you itemize correctly on Spectre, I think like Spectre can just beat Left Stealer. They go
Yes.
Timber Saw, which is a really good pick these days. Here's like Timber, where they were like kind of bad beginning of the patch, are now good because they're just able to like deal with Left Stealers, able to deal with Mars,
10초
able to
남았습니다.
deal with most strength heroes right now. Since most people want
5초
to brawl
남았습니다.
early game, they're
Go
all
with
being
the-
Frev.
Timber Saw on Dire. It's probably an offlane Timber. I don't see that being a US Danny hero. Very solid against the Tusk and the Lifestealer. The Ogre, somewhat as well, even though he is an int hero. I will say that last Tuesday, I played against a last pick Timber Saw with 4 melee strength heroes plus an Ogre, and we won in 25 minutes, so there's definitely something to be said about Timber Saw falling off. Especially once Lifestealer hits this sort of Desolator range. If this Timber Saw is not having a good game, he's just going to be food. We see the Bloodseeker in response, probably going to be the half-cast hero here. Solid offlane pickup for this patch. Good against the Timber Saw. Can help the Clockwork not run away.
10초
Can
남았습니다.
throw the Blood right on top of the cogs. I will say
5초
that
남았습니다.
this does put a lot of pressure on the Tusk to initiate for the Lifestealer until we do see the mid pickup here.
Yeah.
Depending on if Rice Boi chooses to play one of the more mobile cores in the mid lane. Because it's very hard for Lifestealer to get in on a fight if he doesn't get snowballed in at this moment. Because Bloodseeker is not really a Lifestealer vehicle.
다이아 진영이 금지 영웅을
Okay, and we do see Monkey Key coming out from Dire. Matches up well against Bloodseeker Tusk. Can get a lot of kills in that laning matchup. Could also be a US Danny hero, but especially with not having last pick, I wouldn't expect them to do that. Else it would just be some sort of Rice Boi lane dominator and Monkey King would not have farm.
5초 남았습니다.
But as we come
I
into the last
think
bans, both teams probably need mids.
레디언트 진영이 금지 영웅을
Red Storm
선택할
now.
차례입니다.
I don't know. I think like This is already a very hard game for
다이아
Radiant
진영이
already.
금지
They
영웅을
expect
선택할
like
차례입니다.
sure, Lifesteal is good. And Tusk is like very good because you rotate and get like kills in lanes. So if you're relying on a Tusk to go in most of the time, I think there's something wrong. There's something already wrong. I don't think
10초
Tusk is the
남았습니다.
type of hero that wants to go in, kill someone, then
5초
die. I
남았습니다.
think he's just a hero that just kites the enemy. Like he's a follow up hero. He's not a go in hero.
Yeah, definitely.
If it makes sense.
I mean, and it's not like the Dire has a ton of those as well. I mean, Monkey King can initiate more than a Life Stealer, and Clockwork's a little bit easier, but both of them have these very, not static offlaners, but offlaners that want to go in and kind of clean up. But Death Prophet ban coming up from the Radiant, obviously not wanting Danny to get that sort of mid matchup to where he can just press Q and draw the lane. Let's see what Rice Boi hero they ban last. Is it going to be the Pugna? Is it going to be...
레디언트
Alright, they
진영이
banned the
금지
Zeus.
영웅을 선택할 차례입니다.
Zeus Bloodseeker, very strong combination, even if it's an offlane Bloodseeker. Helps jumpstart his fights a lot, and if you put the Blood Rage on Zeus, he does a lot more, I think.
다이아 진영이
And they
here's
ban out
영웅을
the
left,
Viper.
선택할
actually.
차례입니다.
They banned Viper.
So for US Danny, there's still the Tiny, there's still like a Leshrac if he chooses to go for that.
It's legendary SF.
There's not much time left. Let me see if I can pull up Danny's Dota buff.
They're gonna go.
There's
They
Lena.
might go tiny.
5초
I think they
남았습니다.
Lena-
might go for a Lena. They could go for...
Tiny.
Since they don't have last pick, I would assume a Lena type of hero. Maybe a Magnus. Magnus Monkey's very strong as well. Could also go for a Clinks. Might be a little bit
They
too
need-
squishy.
레디언트
I think they
But...
need burst.
영웅을
Okay,
선택-
they go for the
Yeah,
Lena.
go. Yeah.
If you're Rice
Thinking
Boy...
Lena.
Rice Boy's hero pool is always kind of awkward. This is not a good Alchemist game, even though Rice Boy
Don't
doesn't
think
really care
so.
sometimes. We could go for
TA?
a PA's banned.
TA.
Oh, TA.
Could be, right?
I mean, I feel like he wants something with at least a little bit of disable. I know I know TA has it at level 25, but before then it might be a little bit awkward.
Yeah, you don't have the seal. I don't know what you get here then. DK? I think if you got a DK here, you won't do anything. Yeah, I think you want to avoid strength heroes with a Timber on the other side. You need like a disabler that actually nukes as well.
I mean, there's Tiny, there's Magnus,
Is Lash
there's
banned?
Lash.
Maybe they go Lash.
There's OD. They wanted to try OD. Alright, they go Wind Ranger, so
영웅을
they get that sort
선택하십시오.
of stun. They don't have the Lifestealer bomb, but
Well, I don't know, dude. I think.
overall, I think Dire's draft's a little bit stronger just because their win condition is on a Monkey King, and if Monkey King gets to that sort of level, he's just going to not be able to be touched in fights.
Not only that, I think like uh draft wise, I think the pos 4 from Dire has like an easier job, has like an easier thing to do compared to the Radiant one.
Yeah, definitely.
Like you don't have like I guess when we're on there it's like the initiation one, then one. Follow up with a toss, but I don't think it's that easy. This game against the zeros.
I feel like it's
I
going to
think
be
Toss's game won't do anything.
very easy for this Tusk to snowball his team into a Cogs Ice Path LSA.
Yeah.
Classic
There's like nothing to
move.
save people from either, so it's like I don't know. This game for Toss is gonna be actually awful. I'm pretty sure he has to buy like defensive items like Stoic Rest or Pipe or something like that. I don't know.
I mean, a lot of this is going to be on these early Rice Boy rotations to try to secure some of these
So-
side lanes. If they can get a couple early kills on Minicolt, or keep the Timber down at least, I feel like that increases Radiant's chance of winning by a large margin. Anyways, we have...
Yeah, for sure.
On the Radiant side, we have Half Caste on the Bloodseeker, Rice Boi on the Wind Ranger going mid, we have F-Spoon on the Tusk Boots first, we have Spirited on the Ogre Magi Pause 5, and Inquisitor on the Lifestealer. Would you like to introduce the Dire team?
Alright. We have Minicolt on the Monkey King. We have Nance on the Jakiro. We got, I don't know, who's this guy? Kada Bacon. I think he's Kada. Yeah, Kada on the Timber. We got Wickstick on the Clockwork and the legendary US Daniel Lelina.
We see Danny getting his ward down, Rice Boi following. Don't know if Danny saw that
30초
ward.
후
He
전투가
should have.
시작됩니다.
If he's smart, he'll bring out a sentry. I want to make note of just how low amount of regen Minicolt has in this top lane, choosing to go for the Orb of Venom instead of additional regen. Jakiro does have a salve and 4 tangos, but
I mean, he's against 2 melee heroes. He can actually afford that. And he has a Jakiro in his lane. I think they're just gonna get destroyed if they try. Like they're gonna get destroyed in this lane. And if they can contest this, they can destroy them. Pretty sure.
Tusk also choosing to go for boots first, so maybe not that big of a deal.
Yeah, that boots is definitely the play. You need mobility to. I don't know if you sent direct creeps at 50, but that's definitely like a good play they can do because they have like a very strong level 1 Monkey King plus Jakiro.
Radiant actually getting 3 runes. Timbersaw taking about half his HP as damage. Going for the level 1 Whirling Death. Have Clockwork chasing down the Ogre Magi in the bottom lane. Looks to be just a bunch of...
That seems like a waste of time, to be honest.
I mean, this Ogre has 15 regen with a running Tango and a Ring of Regen already.
Yeah.
This Lifestealer not having a
that's
fun
what I'm
game.
saying. That's what Tuss has to do. Very important. Even though he gets harassed a bit, well, that's a mistake. He not blocking this one, it's a big mistake. If he blocks this, he doesn't have to. You avoid the enemy from pulling that one and losing the whole wave. But he didn't do it. Jakir didn't do it, so that's a free way for half guess, definitely.
다이어의 상부 포탑이
It's just a little
공격받고
bit rough
있습니다.
on the Lifestealer because they picked 2 lanes that he's just not going to do well in, even if they tried to throw him top. It's a Monkey King played by a very high MMR player.
Yeah.
I mean, that's just the issue with picking Lifestealer as early as they did. Puts a lot of pressure on Rice Boi this game.
Lifestealer's the type of hero that you don't wanna pick early because he just gets countered immediately.
I mean,
You
if
just
you
want
see
to,
the
like-
lane matchup, I don't think it's that bad, but they
Yeah,
didn't.
but once Timbersaw has he's level 5, he's gonna be untouchable and he's gonna deal a shit ton of damage. So it's like very bad for the Lifestealer. Look at that, he's getting destroyed now.
I mean, he has 8 last hits, but Ogre did go pull, which means Lifestealer's kind of out on his own here. Does have the level 1 Rage. Might need to Rage. He should be fine. Actually, Clockwork has a win lace. He's dead.
Yeah, he's dead. Yeah. I'm saying that this Lifestealer pick is not good. Unless
have-
you're reacting to like an off lane or a support that actually cannot do anything against them. Or get counter in lane. It's a very double edgy, double blade. I don't know. It's super hard.
I mean, Dire getting both of the side core counter picks. Monkey King having just lovely time top lane. Bloodseeker not too far behind due to the Bloodright spell. Middle lane, Danny falling behind a decent amount, but does not have a ton of points in Dragon Slave yet. That should change once he can just nuke the wave and then go jungle. Looks like on the top lane, Jakiro getting the D-ward on the small camp. Very nice on that.
Just enough for you to hang yourself.
As a pause 4 player, what do you think about Tusk using an Obzord to block the small camp instead of a sentry or just using his body?
I've done it. It's okay. So it depends. Okay, the way you use wards to block the camps is it's like very complicated. I'd say it's complicated because you don't know what usage you're gonna use. What's the whole usage for? Okay, so whenever I do like the 50-second pull, like as we saw before, where the toss just pulls the wave before it hits a tier 1. It's very efficient if you ward the small camp and block it, because then no one can pull, and the lane's gonna be on your off lane, and it's gonna be advantageous, right? But
Yeah.
I think you just need. I think sometimes you just have to like let your 5 know. Make your 5 give you like a sentry. I guess sentry would be the best case scenario.
Minicolt being gone on in the top lane. They have the tag team forcing a clock rotation.
Oh no, Tuss is dead.
Probably worth it for
다이어의
Tusk
상부
though.
포탑이 공격받고 있습니다.
Just even though he does die, does draw a clock TP,
Yeah.
and Radiant should secure the bottom runes at least. They might get 4 actually. Bloodseeker is in position, or 3. Danny gets 1, but all in all, I think trading 3 bounty runes and the clock rotation for a Tusk death is definitely worth it for Radiant. They don't get the monkey kill, but
Yeah, that's like the second time they get 3 runes on Radiant.
Bounty.
They're now 1k ahead ish. So
alright, Ogre's just chilling out in the middle lane. Scouted out a Danny stack, I do believe, but cannot farm this. Timber has his... Oh, I thought he had a soul ring. It's just his regular stick, but...
I just think it's this game will. I'm pretty sure this thing relies on mid, how the mid rotates. For the whole game.
Alright, Rice Boi seems to have just... Or not Rice Boi. Halfcast seems to have just given up on top lane, choosing to jungle instead. Dire going for this tri-lane top. But he'll still get a decent amount in this jungle area. Timbersaw getting low bottom.
Timber.
He went for Ring of Health very early.
Wow. Okay, this is interesting. He has 1 point on reactive armor, not 2, and 2 on the whirling death. I think I agree.
I think he thought he would be able to
honest.
be a lot more aggressive on the Lifestealer than he can. Because with the more points in Whirling Death, you have that sort of higher damage
Get rid
amount,
of his
higher
damage.
burst. But if Clockwork's just going to be top, then he can't do much to this Lifestealer.
I don't
Kingdom
think
of the
you go.
Arcane opens
I
tonight.
definitely think you max your reactive armor this lane. Like it's a must.
And this Clockwork's kind of in no man's land here, where they're tri-laning top, but Bloodseeker's still getting some farm. Okay, he does TP mid. Looks like Lina was getting gone on. Rice Boi not able to secure the
boy.
kill. Both supports
That
are
one
mid. Jakiro trying to...
I can catch up to him. Oh, that's what might be dead.
Yeah, he's dead. Oh,
Oh no.
they have Flare. He has a TP. He should be fine, unless Jakiro gets this Ice Path. Still a little bit late. I mean, that is a lot of space. Danny almost did die, but meanwhile, in the top lane, Minicolt having to TP out, so it does create a lot of space for the top lane, Bloodseeker and Tusk. Bottom lane, Lifestealer going to finish up his phase very soon. Timbersaw not level 6 yet. Just kind of struggling on the Timbersaw now, falling behind a decent amount. Does hit level 6, but not really having any mana to work with on this bottom lane. Clockwork securing his rune. Poor Danny. Danny almost dying to a power...
Oh my god.
Oh, sorry.
Wow.
I Well,
Danny actually dying, getting greedy for that rune. You hate to see it.
I don't know. Whenever I play 4 and I'm on this situation where I'm not doing anything, like the clock is right now, where he's just moving around the map doing nothing, it's like actually very game losing. Like you're not even helping. You're not supporting your timber because your timber should be decent enough to deal with a lifestealer and an ogre, but
His Timber just
it's
never
hard.
has mana. I thought he went for a soul ring, but I'm not really sure what this ring of health is supposed to do for him. Does bring out the boots now and a mango. Rice Boi getting gone on mid is going to almost die to US Danny. Only one more right click needed, but does get the wind run off. So very close to being a kill in the middle lane. As far as top goes, Bloodseeker falls a bit behind, but
Bloodseeker is a
Timbersaw
good enough hero to just hold himself.
Timbersaw choosing to go 3 in the reactive armor at 6, not leveling his ultimate.
Okay, okay, I don't understand.
Maybe
That's so
he just
weird.
doesn't think he has mana to use it in this type of lane or have kill potential, but just hard to farm without it, I think. Ogre getting up a
Should've-
very deep ward in the Radiant Triangle, watching this Lina farm a little bit. Dire still tri-laning top. Rice Boi is
It's
here
kinda
though,
like-
and they do have Rupture, but doesn't look like anything will happen. Oh, Rice Boi.
Clockwork.
good old-fashioned skill.
Is that?
They don't want to rupture the clockwork. They don't have to. Looks like the runes are 3 to Radiant. Actually, no, 2 to. Wait, did Jakiro get both? Oh, Jakiro got both. That's actually 3 for Dire. Lifestealer against Timber bottom. Timber out of mana. Did level ult at level 7, but it's an awkward lane. As we go to net worth, Monkey King number 1, followed by the Wind Ranger, and then the cores to follow.
This is a bad move by Lina. Lina has to be here. Just making sure they get this siege and get a few hits on tower. So, how meta is developing right now? At this minute in the game? Holy shit, what the fuck? That looks so fucking weird. At this minute in the game, you will have 4 or 5 heroes mid. Almost like
We-
2 or 3 minutes because there's like siege creeps and you just want to take the mid tower as fast as possible.
We see a smoke up
So-
on Wind Ranger and Tusk going on US Stanny, have the deep ward down, are able to get that kill.
There was always something I liked about you, but not enough to spare your life, I guess.
Yeah.
So Clockwork might be getting gone on as well. They do land the shackle. Snowball not up. Does cog himself in. Kind
That's
of deep to
very
go
deep
for a
toast.
clock kill, but they do get it with the power shot.
Bullseye.
Rice Boi number 1 in net worth, going for that early MKB.
다이어의 중부 포탑이
Timbersaw
공격받고
still
있습니다.
kind of struggling.
다이어의 중심이
Does get his courier
죽었습니다.
killed as well. I don't think I've
Alright,
ever seen
so-
this Timbersaw above like a quarter mana this whole game.
Yeah, I don't know. This Timber is not doing a great job at doing main lane. I just think that if you're a Timbersaw, you just want to like kick the fuck out of the carry out of the lane. Like just press your spells and kick the fuck out of him, you know. Even if it's a lifesteal, I think you should be able to do it 100%. You just need the mana, dude. That's all you need. Like you don't need anything else.
Monkey King having to TP back. I think he got ruptured, just didn't want to
다이어의
possibly
상부
die to
포탑이
that, but does
공격받고
give
있습니다.
top free to Bloodseeker. Right, Timbersaw now
다이어의
TPing up
구종이
there,
강화되었습니다.
but now Lifestealer looks like he has a free lane for a little bit. So Radiant outmaneuvering Dire a bit in terms of getting the farm. Lina getting stunned in the middle lane, doesn't look like anything's gonna result from that. Tusk going on the Timber top lane, they don't have Rupture, so it should not be a
다이어의
kill.
하부 포탑이 공격받고 있습니다.
Radiant are scanning.
Lifestealer has almost the full armlet completed, just needs the recipe. Monkey King going for the Battle Fury, about 800 gold away.
It's gonna be a long game, I can tell.
Rice Boi rotated top. They do get the timber kill, and the tower secured as well. By
다이어의
Trav2s
상부
keeps
포탑이
getting kills
파괴되었습니다.
on the map. He's gonna have like a super early MKB. I'm pretty sure he'll be unstoppable.
I think there's going to be a timing where Minicolt's going to get his Battle Fury, but not the next item. And I'm not really sure what Dire is going to do at that time. Like, they're going to have the Yules on Danny, and Timber's
다이어의
going to have a
상부
hood.
포탑이 공격받고 있습니다.
Oh, they do get a very nice
My last
clockwork
That's what beating.
on Rice Boi, though. It's definitely what they need to be doing to get
They can mana. They can just.
Danny. Getting ruptured here does TP, but stopped by the snowball. And Dire's kind of going a bit far here. And they do have the timber
He
saw.
seems like a beating.
Okay, there we go.
Not lie. Guys, just push, set the tower. You ignore the Seeker. Oh.
다이어의 하부
Or don't
포탑이
ignore him.
공격받고 있습니다. 다이어의 구조물이 강화되었습니다.
This guy's not gonna die.
다이어의 하부 포탑이
He has the
공격받고
javelin,
있습니다.
but no, he has max reactive armor. There's nothing you can do.
Hey, it's tickling him right now.
With the tusk, they can kill him though.
Yeah, I think so. I do think so. Clover's still not out of here. Well, I guess he's saving his timber.
Not really sure if Timbersaw needed to be saved, but he might still go down. That's really deep to chase. No, they can't kill him there.
They need objectives right now.
I mean, all in all, I think a little bit good for the Dire just because they did kill the Wind Ranger,
다이어의
but
중부 포탑이 공격받고 있습니다.
Minicolt has his Battle Fury, has the Iron Talon. This is really where Radiant needs to put the pressure on because Lifestealer went for the
다이어의
armlet.
구조물이 강화되었습니다.
Rice Boi getting hooked on in the middle lane. Might be going down. Gets the out of the cogs in time.
다이어의 중부 포탑이 파괴되었습니다.
They're able to blow up the
Beating by
tusk,
the Radiant.
but Radiant just
Oh, the haste, the timber. Then for the Nyx.
now looking like Radiant's at least going to lose the Bloodseeker. Might lose the Lifestealer as well. It does get the armlet toggle, but not enough.
This timber can keep going for kills right now.
I mean,
He's not
Radiant
gonna get killed.
got a
regardless
solid
of what they
lead,
do.
but just not able to compound that. We saw Monkey King joining the fight for the first time, not even needing to use his ultimate there.
Yeah.
bounty.
He's just chilling, he's farming. Meanwhile, the Lifestealer just has some armlet and he's not doing anything.
Yeah, that Rice Boi
Radiant의
death,
하부 포탑이
and then that fight
공격받고
that didn't really
있습니다.
net him anything, really set him back from this MKB. I feel like if he had the MKB at around this time, it would be a lot easier. Half-cast getting gone in the bottom lane. Does avoid the LSA, or does avoid the Laguna with the duels, but
레디언트의 하부 포탑이
Radiant kind
파괴되었습니다.
of not necessarily missing their time, but their advantage pretty much no more now.
All the momentum Rice Boi built during those ganks is now going to.
I mean, they still have 3 of the top 4
Radiant의
networks,
하부
and
포탑이
Timber still
공격받고
doesn't
있습니다.
really have a ton, but this
Yeah,
Minicolt Monkey King already getting out of control.
Yeah. If you let him farm, he's just gonna kill everyone. I'm pretty sure. Like Lifestealer won't be able to do anything
다이어의
against
중부
him.
포탑이 공격받고
Like,
있습니다.
pretty sure.
Is going for the Ags after the Battle Fury on the Monkey King. Not a huge fan of this build, but if he's able to pull it off and if his team's able to make enough space, then
It's
He's
very
the-
greedy build, definitely.
he's the immortal carry here.
Yeah. Hey, what do I know?
If Clockwork hooking between the heroes, hitting those mud golems. Tusk going on the Lina, getting Yule stop. Tusk just looking like he's going to be blown up here. Rice Boi focusing down the Timbersaw. Does have the full
Oh
on
no,
KB.
man. Chains.
Minicolt
Yes,
just biding
indeed.
his time on up there. Might not be able to do much this fight. Lina getting kind of run down. Is going to fall. So Radiant pulling it back. Tusk feeds into 5 heroes, but it doesn't matter. That's kind of the downside to this Monkey King Battle Fury Ags
레디언트의
build.
하부 포탑이
It's
공격받고
a lot of
있습니다.
money to go towards
다이어의 중부
A big
포탑이
item.
공격받고
go
있습니다.
towards later farming.
Yeah, I don't know.
다이어의 구조물이
Battle Fury
강화되었습니다.
and Axe and Monkey King pretty much do
다이어의
the same
중부 포탑이
BEs.
공격받고
Enable you to
있습니다.
farm faster.
I mean, if he has Deso BKB or Orchid BKB in that fight, he can turn it around, but just choosing to not do this timing for a later timing, which, if he can pull it off, he can pull it off. But we'll see. It's like Radiant does
레디언트의
smoke up,
하부
trying to
포탑이
find him on the bottom
공격받고
lane.
있습니다.
They will run into him. Nice shackle by Rice Boi. Let's see if Oak can get the stun. Does do so. Very nice play from Rice Boi.
Never could leave well enough alone.
Timbersaw going for the Yules, Blade Mill. Lifestealer has the Echo Saber
레디언트의
going
상부
for the
포탑이
Silver Edge.
공격받고 있습니다.
I'm not sure if this is the correct play, going for the Silver Edge against a Timbersaw who is already behind.
Lifestealer just has to focus on try to stun Monkey King's game, and I think it's a free game.
I don't know if Desolator's the build. It allows you to have a lot more early pressure, but it just doesn't do a ton once Monkey King. Oh, so Rice Boi going down. Looks like maybe tried to get in the Dire triangle, but not working out that well. Dire using the clumsy net. It's looking like half cast is getting blown up a little bit. Danny using himself, but
Oh, getting him deeper.
kind of a weird fight
레디언트의 중부
from
포탑이
Radiant.
공격받고 있습니다.
Oh, he's alive. He's running.
Bloodseeker does end up going down, but they do get both supports. Lifestealer and Timber kind of just battling it out. Timber not really killable by these two heroes. Once Rice Boi shows up, he is definitely killable though. Maybe stepping a little bit too far. They do trade for the Tusk, but Timbersaw maybe going a bit too far, trying to kill this Lifestealer. Not really easy to kill him at this point, unless he doesn't have rage. Have Danny going for the Ags on Lina. Monkey King has the gold for the Ags, about to pick it up here.
Monkey King is
I mean, one thing that the Ags build does do is put a lot of pressure on this Radiant team, since Giga farmed Monkey King, Radiant can't really do anything about. So this is many.
It's also it's so super good to have like a Monkey King axe because you can just go siege.
I mean, this is
High ground.
Minicolt pretty much saying, I'm the best player in this lobby, I'm going to carry this game.
Yeah.
Whether it's going to work or not, we're going to see, but that's the build he's choosing to go for here.
I mean, I'm pretty sure it works. I definitely think that Radiant doesn't have a chance in late game, so if Minicolt
다이어의
gets
상부
the
포탑이
items he needs,
공격받고 있습니다.
which is gonna be a
레디언트의 중부
BKB
포탑이
plus
공격받고
like
있습니다.
maybe a Scotty or Desolator, he's gonna definitely own. Like he's gonna be unstoppable.
We do see a very nice combo
Oh,
coming out
so
from
good.
파괴되었습니다.
Dire. Rice Boi definitely not expecting that Monkey King stun there.
That's definitely a mid tower, maybe bot tower.
Might get the Ogre Magi as well, does stun the Monkey King, has the mech,
레디언트의 중부
but
포탑이
to no
공격받고
avail.
있습니다. 다이어의 상부 포탑이 공격받고 있습니다.
Minicolt, even though he's been farming for like the past 20 minutes,
파괴되었습니다.
he comes out online right now, and now he's just
레디언트의 중부
getting
포탑이
kills and
공격받고
getting
있습니다.
objectives.
레디언트의
Danny
구조물이
almost
파괴되었습니다.
almost knocking down the trees Minicolt was on,
다이어의
but
상부 포탑이 공격받고 있습니다.
I mean,
레디언트의 중부
like I said,
포탑이
there's not really
공격받고
any way
있습니다.
for Lifestealer to get in these fights though. Like he is going Silver Edge, so is going to be a little bit more mobile
다이어의
by
진군이
using that
죽었습니다.
active, but like he's not really gonna want to jump into Tusk, especially Tusk has the Spear Vessel, not going for the Blink Dagger. Can't really jump in the Wind Ranger. Bloodseeker maybe is fairly quick, but it's kind of a weird Lifestealer.
Yeah.
Like he has Silver Edge, but like even now they're smoked up, running at Dire. Lifestealer isn't jumping in anyone. Like he's probably just going to Silver Edge and run in.
And this is where the going in thing. Okay, yeah, you can initiate with Tusk. Sure.
I mean, they got a really solid Shackle.
Yeah, but then what? Then you this should
I mean, they do kill Danny. They're getting Minicolt down very low. Does get the ult off, but Dire just not really doing anything. That's a 5-man wipe. The classic rd2l caster curse.
True. I mean, I still think Dire has the advantage, like him.
I mean, Dire
Sure,
Dire got kind of caught off guard by that, because
다이어의 중부
Danny
포탑이 공격받고
doesn't have his
있습니다.
Ags yet, and I think he just got caught out super early, and then Minicolt doesn't have an item to protect him against this sort of MKB Wind Ranger.
다이어의 구조물이 강화되었습니다.
Like, the Dire's disengage is okay with Timber Chain and with Monkey King leaps, but not sure why Radiant didn't go for Roche there. They have Open Wounds tag team and Focus Fire, but choosing instead farm a little bit more on the map. They do have a 6k gold lead. Lifestealer with the full Silver Edge, going Basher next. Choosing to complete the Vanguard first. That's very interesting.
Yeah, I don't know. Why would you go Vanguard? I don't think you're dying, so that's still there. I think it's pretty hard. Right now it's pretty hard, but maybe not later.
They're going for the Roche with Dire up. Clockwork has Flare, does choose to use it.
This could be potentially bad for the team.
Timbersaw getting pretty much blown up, but big
Three-man-
hook shot in front of
three-man ice
Clockwork. Big ice path as well. Monkey King just killing heroes in the background. Does get MKB though, not much he can do. Does have the Spear Vessel as well. Does buyback.
DD on the Wind Ranger, that's why.
Yeah, he did have the DD as
레디언트의 하부
well.
포탑이 공격받고
Looks like this
있습니다.
is just another favorable fight for the Radiant team.
That's still.
They get a
there.
5-man wipe again.
Something I liked about you,
Well,
but not enough to
I
spare
don't
your
know.
life.
Minicolt has to
레디언트의
finish
하부
this
포탑이
BKB
공격받고
and
있습니다.
get a Guardian to
다이어의
be able to
중부
tank up the
포탑이
Moon Ranger.
공격받고
Otherwise,
Yeah.
this is like the second fight in a row they
다이어의
lose.
중부
This
포탑이
could
파괴되었습니다.
turn into a high ground push, and probably into a Rex.
Yeah, Timbersaw got kind of caught out in no
다이어의
man's
중부
land where he
포탑이
just gets ruptured
공격받고
and
있습니다.
he can't really go anywhere. Especially with Wind Ranger DD rune. Yeah, this is going to be a set of
다이어의
racks.
중부 포탑이 파괴되었습니다. 다이어 중부 병력이 공격받고 있습니다.
Or at least the melee. I don't know if they'll get the range as well. But
다이어 중부 병력이
alright, Lifestealer using
파괴되었습니다.
his infest. They do get the melee. Not much Dire can do about it. Monkey King choosing to go for the Basher, not going for the BKB here. Thinking instead of the enemy team fighting on their terms, I need to start fighting on my terms. Basher definitely giving him more
레디언트의
kill
하부
potential.
포탑이 공격받고 있습니다.
I guess also gives luck on.
Yeah, Greaves on the Ogre. Radiant going back for the Roche. Tusk very low here. Monkey King does get stunned.
Have you heard the thing of history repeats itself? I think it will happen again. Dire will beat again. Yep, it's happening.
Both supports already down. If you saw, the Timbersaw actually killed the tree Monkey King was on with the chakram, but Radiant didn't see it.
레디언트의 상부
So
포탑이 공격받고
I'm sure that
있습니다.
can't feel good as Monkey King. Dire kind of having to play the keep away game now.
루션이 레디언트의
They do have very
영웅에게
good
죽었습니다.
heroes at pushing out side lanes, to be fair. Having the Lina, having the Timber,
레디언트의
having the
상부
Monkey
포탑이
King.
공격받고 있습니다.
Even Jakiro not the worst, but Jakiro probably needs to be just on high ground. Timbersaw getting ruptured, needs to probably chain TP. But
Nope. Dead.
I mean, ruptured not active anymore, but they do get the Spear Vessel. I mean, we look at this Timbersaw a little bit close to Lotus. Lina very far from BKB. And Radiant might just be hitting this timing where Dire can't really do anything about it. Rice Boi has his MKB, has his BKB, almost has an Ags. Half cast, almost has a BKB of his own, has the full halberd up.
Bounty.
They do have the Greaves on Ogre as well. I mean, you look at even the difference between these pause 5 heroes. Ogre has up 17 assists. Like, he has a full Greaves.
That's insane. As a pause 5, that's actually insane.
Like, he's closer to Timber's net worth than the enemy pause 5. By far.
다이어의 하부 포탑이 공격받고 있습니다.
Minicolt does get the Titan Sliver as we see tier 3 items coming out. The Craggy Coat on Radiant. Not sure. But guess Tusk probably uses it if anyone.
다이어의 하부 포탑이 공격받고 있습니다. 다이어의 하부 포탑이
Life Stealer just going for this range tracks mid. Doesn't look like we'll be contested too much for it.
다이어 중부 병영이 파괴된
Rice Boi does have the
레디언트의
Aegis
상부
over
포탑이
Life Stealer though, so
파괴되었습니다.
if Life Stealer does get caught in a stun to a whirling death, it could be taken down very easily.
레디언트의 상부 포탑이 공격받고 있습니다.
Timbersaw getting bursted down, pops the Blade Veil, no avail. Rice Boi getting very low, does have Aegis.
레디언트의 상부
Lifestealer
포탑이
and
공격받고 있- 레디언트의 상부
Bloodseeker
포탑이
very far in the backline. They do get the kill.
다이어의 하부
They
포탑이
do get
공격받고 있습니다.
Minicolt disarmed for a second and then blown up.
레디언트의 상품이 죽었습니다.
And his MKB on Rice Boi is just tearing him apart every game.
다이어의 하부
Or every
포탑이
fight.
공격받고 있습니다.
It's a dieback on the Lina, 4 buybacks on Dire. They do get the
They can
Aegis
still fight. They can still fight here.
and the Tusk, but the second dieback on the Dire, Timbersaw going down as well, looking like
They don't give
probably
they
a
don't give
GG
anything.
soon.
다이어의 하부 포탑이 공격받고 있습니다.
Game's over.
The dieback on
GG.
Monkey as well, and that's game 1. Very solid
Wow.
execution from the Radiant, punishing the Monkey
Yeah.
King
No
다이어의
mistake,
상부
bro.
포탑이 공격받고 있습니다.
Few mistakes from Radiant and a bunch of mistakes from Dire.
They just have to play how they really have to or wanted to, and it's a free win, I'm pretty sure.
I mean,
For either
that's,
side.
I feel like that's the issue in RD2L, where your high MMR player tries to get away with something he can get away with in high MMR games, but if you're playing in RD2L and you're the high MMR player, usually you're playing with lower MMR players who might not be able to make that space. Like, Minicolt can pull off that build, no question about it. He's an amazing carry player. However, his team wasn't able to make the space for him to pull it off. Like, I'm not saying, oh, Minicolt can't do that. Minicolt can't pull off. He definitely can. He's a very good player. But his team wasn't able to make the space for him to pull it off.
Yeah, it's just it's hard because you have to like have your team play in a specific way let the Monkey King just split push like an anti-mage, for example, and then just let your team like play this defensive type of gameplay, like shove waste and then back out immediately.
I mean, it's just
Because
hard
otherwise you
because
get caught out.
if you're a Monkey King there, you think I need to fight, or hey, I can be in this fight when, because if you're the Heimamar player, you think, like, even though, yeah, you're doing this farming build, you're thinking, oh, I need to be able to fight. But it's just kind of can get mixed results, because I'm sure he also thinks if I don't fight, we're going to lose every fight. And he's not wrong, but it's just kind of a weird type of thing, because because I played last week against a team where their carry was Archon, but that also meant that their carry was able to take advantage since they had a divine offlaner and an immortal +4. So their team just ran around making space for him all game, and it was fine. Like, he didn't need to really fight because his other 4 heroes were just so strong.
Yeah.
And
It has to
I also
do.
might have had an Battle Fury into Ags Monkey King on my team, so
Yeah, I think. It's how you say it. The problem with rd2l is the gap between players,
it's just hard
which
have
often results into like some players not learning. Not I wouldn't say learning. They don't know the concept of what high MMR players think most of the time.
it's just hard having your HMMR player be your hard farmer and your also lobbies up. You gonna do game 2?
Yeah, though my chips are cooking for my chip butty, so I might disappear for like a few minutes to.
Yeah.
Oh, Bear was still here.
Bear's casting game too. I'm just gonna go sleep. I'm super tired.
Alright. Thanks for casting. You joining lobby, Bear, or?
Yeah, give me a sec. I have to fucking find the piece of shit.
Toxic. Alright, GG. I'm out.
Alright,
So-
GG's, thanks.
It's just being British. Join lobby.
See how Sleepy Travis series went?
I was watching it a moment ago and it's just ended, and I assume that Trav just won.
Alright, let's see. Travis team 1. Sleepy went OD, Cringe Hero. Apex went CK, Ownage Hero, but kind of a weird build. Yeah, it looks like
It lost to a Morphlin. Why they playing a US West, man?
no, were you able to get in the lobby?
Yeah.
Okay. Because they started, so. What? They played on US West because it's PST.
Don't care. Fuck US West. US
Yeah.
East 7.
It looks like Alcaro just went super off in this game. It's just untouchable.
He died 3 times and then I don't think he died since.
I mean, Alcaro can get died 10 times and still be untouchable. He's just diving tier 4s at 20 minutes. And I mean, sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't, but hats off if you're good enough to where you can do that. Anyways, we're in this series. Void, Grimstroke banned by the Radiant, Mars banned from the Dire. Looking like the same type of bans. Looking like Rice Boi team
10초
has Radiant
남았습니다.
again. Does not have last pick this time, however.
5초 남았습니다.
I actually don't know. Like, is the PST supposed to be in streams? I don't know. And I don't really care. I just wanted to make sure I don't have the. I want to make sure I don't post in the wrong server. Wrong channel, I should say.
5초 남았습니다.
Anyways, we have Bloodseeker ban coming out from the Dire, and a first pick Clockwork from the Radiant, so taking that elusive pause 4 hero that everyone seems to love.
It's just one of the best falls in general at the moment, though, as well.
Oh yeah,
레디언트 진영이
Clockwork
영웅을 선택.
did lose last game, but our Dire responding with the Doom. Be interesting to see. I don't think Danny plays mid Doom, so probably looking at an offlane Doom, but strong hero can definitely be countered if picked this early though, if
10초
Radiant
남았습니다.
decides to go with very tanky cores. Or
But it's not
5초
even just
남았습니다.
tanky cores. You can just have multiple Doom targets, and then your head is spinning around. What one do I do?
I mean, usually if there are multiple good Doom targets, that's not that much of an issue unless it's like an Oracle plus one. Speaking of Oracle.
There's to say for any Doom target.
Yeah, definitely a very good Doom counter. Not sure how good the hero is if the player doesn't play it, but just going to assume he plays it, so.
10초 남았습니다.
Even if you don't play it that much, all you have to do is make sure you
5초
false promise
남았습니다.
That
the guy.
That's a lot easier said than done for some players, unfortunately.
True, pressing buttons is a difficult concept for some players.
I mean, sometimes in rd2l, it's just how it goes. Sometimes you can't expect supports to press targeted spells. That's why you pick players like Jakiro, Lich. Like, sometimes those aren't necessarily targeted to where it matters.
Just as long as you cast your spells.
Yeah. Oracle, you have to do math.
레디언트 진영이 금지
I
영웅을
go for the Venge on Dire, so probably the pause 5 hero.
다이아 진영이
Good save against
금지
the
영웅을
Oracle
선택할
and the
차례입니다.
Clockwork. Riki ban, another Minicolt hero. See if they ban 4 Minicolt heroes and 5 bans here.
10초 남았습니다.
Like at the moment, the heroes picked are pretty cut and dry.
5초
You know what you're gonna
남았습니다.
get probably. No, it's gonna probably be a 4 Clockwork and a 5 Oracle and a 3 Doom and a 5 Venge.
레디언트 진영이 금지 영웅을 선택할 차례입니다.
Yeah, last game a 3 Bloodseeker won. It's crazy. Though it won because the other team picked an even more bait here with the 3 pause 3 Timbersaw.
10초 남았습니다.
I think Timbersaw is a huge RD2L bait. I think it's even
다이아
larger than
진영이 금지
Bloodseeker.
영웅을 선택할 차례입니다.
especially off lane. I think you can
I
Be
think
good.
Timbersaw just requires.
you can be convinced you can convince me that Timber mid is fine if you get a good like melee matchup, like strength melee. I played against it as Magnus and it was very rough.
10초 남았습니다.
But I don't feel like off lane it's that good right now at all, unless like your Timber
5초
player is just really
남았습니다.
good. I think on paper it looks solid, but in execution
레디언트
it's just a bit
진영이
rough.
금지 영웅을
I think-
선택할 차례입니다.
I think it's only good if you know you're gonna have a very good lane as a Timbersaw, and you can get away
다이아
with
진영이
like
금지
either
영웅을
your four
선택할
being
차례입니다.
part of a tri lane or roaming around like bullying the mid lane.
I mean, he got a decent lane. It was Timber clock against Lifestealer Ogre, but it's just hard to create that sort of separation necessary. And
10초
if you're not
남았습니다.
snowballing the game, then it's a little bit rough. Like at that point, you'd
5초
probably rather
남았습니다.
just have a regular blink stunning off lane.
And also an issue is Lifestealer is one of those heroes that naturally
다이아
builds
진영이 영웅을
ne-
선택할
like
차례입니다.
Desolator and AC. So
I mean,
most
last game you went like Armlet into Silver Edge, but looking at the bans, we have 4 carries banned up from Radiant, getting rid of the Sven PA. Dire bans out the PL and the Rice Boi Void Spirit. Ember's still
10초
in the pool for
남았습니다.
Radiant if they choose to go for it. It is a Doom
Interesting.
target, but
5초
it is
남았습니다.
Rice Boi, one of his signature heroes, if they try to go for it with the 18 pick here.
Interestingly, though, it's like Phantom Lance has been banned in the. I find Phantom Lance are currently one of the worst carry heroes
I mean,
in
his
this.
laning is okay. Diffusal not really being amazing right now does hurt him a lot. Like even Naga players don't go Diffusal, Spectre players don't go Diffusal.
레디언트
Choosing to
진영이
go for this
영웅을
Manta
선-
Scotty. Magnus coming out from Dire could be a pause 4, could be a pause 2.
It's quite a greedy lineup from Dire at the moment.
I think if it's a 2 Magnus, it's fine. 4 Magnus, it's really greedy, but I don't know. They do have last overall pick, so
10초 남았습니다.
I'm sure they might just pick the carry hero at 17 and
5초
then
남았습니다.
flex Magnus depending on what Rice Boi picks, but
Yeah, you could potentially go mid Doom, but you're relying on Danny. Danny potentially having.
it's probably it'd be mid Magnus over mid Doom definitely, because
Yeah.
Danny does play Magnus. I've seen it in his recent Dota
다이아
buffs.
진영이 영웅을
You have
선택.
Lifestealer coming out again for Radiant, good against Doom. They do have 3 Rage Piercing disables though between Doom, Swap, and RP.
Yeah, like I feel like Doom and Lifestealer is a matchup of
10초
who gets the jump
남았습니다.
first.
I mean, as a former offlane player, I
5초
think
남았습니다.
Doom is okay against Lifestealer. The lane might suck, but you do have Devour. But
You have
it just
to
depends.
catch You have a way of catching up and sustaining in lane.
Yeah, I mean, once you have high levels in Scorched Earth, I don't think you care that much,
레디언트
but
진영이
we'll see. They
영웅을
do go with
선택.
Terrorblade on Dire, though, so they're choosing to flex this Magnus, not showing whether it's a 4 or a 2 here. Classic Minicolt Terrorblade hero. Zeus is still in the pool for Radiant. Zeus or Ember Spirit, if they choose to go for them. Zeus, obviously, very
10초
good
남았습니다.
Terrorblade counter, along with the other 2 strength heroes, or the other
5초
2 strength
남았습니다.
heroes on Dire. But just depends on what Radiant tries to go for. If they don't pick the Zeus here, it's definitely going to get banned. So, just
Like, it's a very good TB game, but the only issue I have with TB is the rest of the line.
I mean, they did pick the TB to where they can have this.
금지 영웅을
They go for Death Prophet instead, so choosing to go for more of an up-tempo hero that doesn't care really if he gets doomed as long as he gets his exorcism off. But could also be a offlane
10초
Death
남았습니다.
Prophet. Halfcast loves these sort of
금지 영웅을 선택할
ranged
차례입니다.
offlaners that run at you and win the lane, so I would not be surprised if this is a flex pick here.
I've seen offlane Death Prophet now and again as well, like even in Pro Dota.
I would almost, if I'm Dire, I'm banning 2
10초
Rice Boi heroes
남았습니다.
here. Like I'm banning Ember, Zeus, I would think.
5초 남았습니다.
Yeah, I
레디언트
think you.
진영이
Yeah,
Nope, they go with-
영웅을 선택할
oh,
차례입니다.
They go with half-cast bans. They ban the Necro.
I mean, you can play Necro in this off lane and sit in the mid lane, and it's.
I mean,
a good hero against.
if they're gonna pick Necro, it's gonna be half-cast playing it because half-cast loves the hero.
That is true.
But
It's a good ban.
10초
Good ban
남았습니다.
regardless. And then you have to decide: do you want to ban Zeus or do you want to ban Ember Spirit?
5초 남았습니다.
see, I don't know. I would just ban 2 Rice Boi heroes, but I mean, they choose to ban the Necrophos.
금지
They
영웅을
ban out the
선택할
Tiny, so they're
차례입니다.
thinking it's a 4 Magnus. And they do have 24 pick. So they can choose between if it's going to be a mid Magnus or a pause 4, but let's see if Dire bans out another half cast tier or if they go for a Rice Boi ban here.
I think they
10초
ban Zeus, and
남았습니다.
then maybe like I know it might be. I don't know if Danny plays it, but pick,
5초
pick the
남았습니다.
Ember Spirit and take it away from.
They have last pick.
So you have to hope that they don't take one or the other. Then.
I think it's a mid Magnus and they'll just pick like some pause 4 Tusk or Spirit Breaker or some sort of roaming hero.
It
레디언트
needs to be a
진영이
douche too.
영웅을
They
선택할
banned the Timber
차례입니다.
Saw, so they're thinking it's a mid Death Prophet, but let's see if that chooses to be, or if that seems to be correct or not. They have still a minute 30 reserve time after the initial, so
It's
10초
gotta be a Zeus
남았습니다.
pick. Like I don't know how they really get on top of Zeus.
5초 남았습니다.
And
I
if
mean-
they do get on top of Zeus, they got the Oracle to save.
다이아 진영이 영웅을 선택할
oh, they go for the OD, so another solid mid hero.
I'm not particularly keen on the OD.
I mean, it destroys Magnus in lane, but it's also a Magnus. If I'm Dire, I would not be dissuaded
10초
from the
남았습니다.
Magnus mid. I think it's a lot stronger mid than it is pause 4. I think if they
5초
put it pause
남았습니다.
4, that lineup's just going to get way out-tempoed. Like, they need a pause 4 that can clear waves and make sure that Radiant can't just run over them. If they put Magnus 4, I think they're just going to get run over personally, but we'll see as they run out of reserve time here, see if there's going to be mid-Magnus, and it's going to be a
영웅을
sniper,
선택할 수
so
있습니다.
very greedy draft from the Dire. I favor Radiant draft a lot more here, personally. I think Sniper is one of the worst heroes in Dota right now.
Yeah, and even though people see Sniper as a counter OD, as the game goes on, you can always just jump onto the Sniper and just finish him before.
Especially if you go the Ags on OD to where you have the huge Astral range. Like, you can just blink on him and Astral him, or Force Staff and Astral him, and then you just set up your other heroes just to smack him a bunch.
Yeah, and you can also use it. And also, it's another save against the Doom.
It is a 3 Magnus and a 4 Doom. So a little
Okay.
bit,
I'm not particularly keen on that, but sure.
yeah, I think 3 Magnus is definitely better than 4 Magnus. I think support Magnus is just really awkward unless your team's just really good. But
Yeah,
4 Doom kind of puts it in a weird spot, but we'll see. I think Dire has the better late game lineup, but it's just whether they can get there. I think Sniper's good at D push, but I think the hero is just garbage in general. I'd rather just have a mid Magnus, honestly, but
I feel like that's the only issue with Dice. If they get to the terribly timing. Fortunately, he has a Magnus, but the only problem with the Magnus being a 3, he also wants to sort of farm himself.
that is a really nice clockwork head. Alright, Danny Sniper looks like it's elite.
He looks ready.
Alright, would you like to introduce the Radiant team?
Yeah, I can introduce the Radiant team. There's an intro NA style. There's a pause. You got half cast who's AFK playing the Death Prophet. You haven't yet bought a starting item. That's how AFK is. You got Spirited on the Oracle. Inquisitor playing the Lifestealer. F-Spoon playing the Clockwork. Going for first item boots, and then you got Rice Boi in the mid lane with his Outworld Devourer.
I'm gonna turn you up a little bit real quick. A bit soft. Alright, there we go.
I'm a soft voice person.
Well, I'm saying like softer than usual.
Yeah, that's fair.
It is late, so. Anyways, on the Dire we have Minicolt on the Terrorblade, US State on the Sniper. I thought he was playing the Magnus for a second and was very confused. We have Kita on the Magnus, pause 3, Doom boots first, played by Wicked Sick, and we do have Nance on the Vengeful Spirit. Keep thinking it's a Magnus mid, so it's like, wait a second, why is Danny playing?
I feel like Magnus mid would have been a better choice than picking.
I mean, it's a better quote-unquote counter pick, but I don't know. Magnus mid is just, unless this Clockwork is just going to be invading his jungle, Magnus can just press W and just AFK jungle, so.
That's why I would have thought it'd been better mid lane than being in the off lane. You can't really abandon the off lane so much unless you're going to give it up to your demon. You're just going to.
Well, the issue with abandoning the off lane is that you need levels before you do that. Like, the Magnus timing, I think, is level 5 to where you just say, okay, I'm going to the woods. And middle lane, you'll hit level 5 at 6 minutes at the worst. Like, if Rice Boi is denying everything, you'll still hit level 5 at 6 minutes. If you're Dire, or if you're off lane, you might not hit level 5 until 9 minutes.
Yeah, that's the problem I have with side lane Magnus. I feel like he's much better mid, and he gets his timings a lot quicker. It's a lot easier to have an impact on the game if you're in the mid lane, because there's not many bad Magnus matchups either. in the mid
I
lane
mean,
at
it
the moment.
doesn't matter even if it's a terrible matchup. I played against the Timbersaw and lost my tower at like 7 minutes, but you just hit the woods and no hero can really push tier 2s, so I mean,
Yeah, and you farm quick enough that you'll always catch up regardless of how far behind you are.
yeah.
30초 후 전투가 시작됩니다.
I personally think they should have gone mid Magnus and then picked like some pause 4 that can stall the game really well for this Terrorblade, but that's just how it is right now. So we see Halfcast going for a very elite Death Prophet build, going for the Circlet Double Fairy Fire. Have boots first on both pause 4s, so Magnus has the skewer, might choose to use it here. Does
There we go.
skewer up the lifestealer, does get him clipped. Very solid play from him. Lifestealer does have the TP before skewers up, but still very nice cheeky play. Don't know why he's not using it. They can't really get to him. Alright, there we go.
Big brain play would be to ops that, and then just Inferno Blade the lifestealer as he's TPing.
I don't even think that's worth it though. Infernal Blade is such a bad spell. Also,
Yeah.
I don't...
It's not the greatest of spells now. It used to be an amazing spell, but
Yeah. I
So,
think you can reach up there with Doom, but I don't think that'd be worth it.
no, it's not worth it.
It'd be really funny though, and that's what really counts.
Oh,
Pull up
so yeah,
the
the
last hit
lifestealer
chart.
Orb of Venom.
Yeah, choosing not to go for a ton of regen is against double melee. So might just be able to right click this Magnus a bunch, but...
I also didn't get kills in this lane with the Orb of Venom. That's not why the main reason why you go Orb of Venom or carry. Because you reckon you can punish.
Yeah. And you put a lot of pressure either way, but Doom gets the speed aura, but he's already getting a bit low on the Doom. Has double tango left, but Lifestealer using open wounds. That's one downside to Lifestealer. Open wounds is 140 mana level 1. A lot of mana to be...
Some wounds there as well, to be honest.
Looks like Venge might be going down top. Does with the last right click. A bit rough. Terrorblade not having meta up, and Venge still being level 1. Kind of a rough lane for Avenge, just kind of get run down by a Clockwork.
I think it's a tough safe lane in general.
Meanwhile, in this bottom lane, you have Oracle just wailing away on this Doom. Oracle not having any Fairy Fires, surprisingly. Definitely a hero that makes use of them a lot more than other pause 5s due to having such large range and really good base attack time.
Yeah, it's one of the few supports that has a unique base attack time.
Doom getting very low in the bottom lane. Does get the double skewer.
I think they might have to kill the Doom.
Both cores in the side lane using their salves. Magnus not using his mango to cancel it, but might just be saving it for another day. Maul in middle, pretty much even lane here. Top lane, Terrorblade has a lot of last hits. Death Prophet, they're pretty much just running down this Venge, and I mean, Clockwork has a ton, but I think... Alright, both of them have 1 kill, so maybe not the worst, but... Rice Boi does have 7 denies in the middle lane, though, against a counter-picked sniper.
I mean, OD has a much higher base attack than the sniper. And now the OD has his two nulls.
Neither chain blocking the small camp. Dire blocking the big camp. Halfcast getting gone on the top lane. Metamorphosis used. Should be able to just run him down. Clockwork looking like he was just securing the top rune for his OD.
Is a thought. Would it be better to go Wraith Bands on the Death Prophet than no again in this lane against the Terrorblade and the Vengeful Spirit?
You don't really use any of the Wraith Band thing except the armor. Getting Nulls are just really strong right now. You get the spell amp and you get the mana regen. I mean, yeah, it kind of sucks, cause especially when Venge has Wave of Terror, but I think if you're Death Prophet, you need a Ring of Protection in this lane.
Yeah.
Maybe you don't build the full Veil, or Veil, it doesn't build into that anymore. But,
You can go Buckler. I think a good Buckler would have been good this game.
we do have Magnus going down in the bottom lane. Looks like he didn't skewer out, probably was rooted from that. Oracle looking like the trade here.
And
You
you
might
might
be
get
able to snag the courier.
Ooh. Nah. The Doom Russian phase boots as a position 4 is very interesting.
Dire looks like they're getting 4 runes. They
And
do
Terrorblade.
get the Minicolt kill. Magnus might be able to secure Death Prophet. Does have the skewer up. Should be able to secure it. So very solid trade from the Dire, getting all 4 bounty runes.
Is the Terrorblade's death worth 4 bounty wounds though?
Probably.
I mean, it's lost farming time though, and he had a whole creep wave under his tower.
The only issue is Magnus and Doom are both, or Magnus and Terrorblade are both top now.
I mean, it's not too bad. Magnus is level 5. Gives
Oh.
Doom a...
Oh, he did hit level 5, then it's fine then.
So
Thought he was only level 4.
he was level 4 and he got level 5 from killing the Death Prophet, so...
Yeah, that's completely fine then, getting that level 5. That's... Oh,
See,
Magnus
oh.
is trying to kill middle. Does get... Danny does not have mana for Assassinate. Very unfortunate. Benj does get the kill with the Wave of Terror and the missile. Bit of misplays coming out from Rice Boi, thinking he can get away with that regen rune. Does get punished for it, similar to how Danny got punished game 1. I mean, Magnus does run all the way bottom again. Does have the creep wave under his tower. It's like top wave clockwork going down, another metamorphosis used. Doesn't look like
레디언트의
half-cast will
중부
follow.
포탑이 공격받고 있습니다.
So Dire gaining a substantial lead here.
Oracle just casually dropping an Observer Ward.
I mean, it's a very solid ward watching this little triangle from the Dire.
Yeah, it was just weird how he just casually placed it in front of the Doom. It doesn't look like Doom's planning to de-ward it, or we ain't even pinged the idea of it.
Remember when you could get big creeps level 1 as Doom? That was a good time.
Just like on Chen as well, there were good times.
Doom you could just get like level 1 Satyr and just automatically win the lane. Doom going down, by the way, is only level 4 now. Almost has the phase boots, not sure why he went for the full wand before them, but we'll be able to get the level 5 creeps now. Looks like Minicolt's going to the jungle, almost has his drum. See if Halfcast is able to abuse the fact that there's nobody top.
So I wonder what build the Lifestealer will go this game. Like, commonly at the moment, like in Europe, there's usually
레디언트의
armored
중부
straight
포탑이
into AC.
공격받고 있습니다.
But I know in North America, they still tend to go for the armored Desolator build.
I mean, you're against a
다이어의
Terrorblade.
상부 포탑이
I don't think
공격받고
Deso's the
있습니다.
build if you're going against TV, since he already has 25 armor, 22 armor, whatever. But not really sure what the build would be. Maybe MKB. Just depends.
He can't really go AC against Terrorblade either
다이어의
because,
중부
you know,
Yeah,
포탑이
definitely.
공격받고 있습니다.
reflection. I'm trying to cast my mind back when I was watching the
I think Armlet
Yeah.
MKB.
yeah. But he looks like he's going Javelin into SMY, which means they're trying to compete with the late game of Dire, I guess.
Danny shooting up a warning shot to Rice Boi, saying, hey, I have vision here. You're not going to do anything about it, but I have vision. Doom finishing up his phase boots. Mango tree placed by the Dire. See if that'll get cut down. Meanwhile, they try to go after Danny in his jungle, but
It might be double punishment. Yep.
giving Danny a kill, giving Magnus a kill. Magnus going for this weird, almost drum, but actually Vlad's type build.
Yeah, it looks like a very confused person looking at the stash.
I'm sure it's fine.
The Venge needs to go have a lane because even though she's gonna probably get the tome in the team,
He's,
she's still not gonna make it to level 6 even.
I mean, she's level 5 now, whereas Clockwork's only level 4. Just now hit 5 with the tome. So Venge with the tome should hit 6.
Yeah.
Doom's going straight Halberd. Should be fine. Maybe with like a Windlace before that. We look at the net worth chart. Terrorblade, Lifestealer firmly ahead of everyone else. The Clause 4 Doom is a little bit ahead. That's the Dire's lead right now, but is to be expected with this sort of Devour skill plus given a lane.
And now Terrorblade will like accelerate massively with the Empower.
Yeah, they tried to gank the Terrorblade with the supports and ended up dying to the sniper. But let's see if they're able to kill the sniper here.
Like the good thing about Dire's team is they can always defend for the Terrorblade to make sure he gets found. And there's smokes on the side, ganking Danny. And you know,
Not much they can do about that. Just getting ganked by 4 heroes, but
well, it's a sniper and he has there's no defensive skill to allow him to escape such a second chance.
I mean, Venge still doesn't have swap up, so
But it's a very good swap. Yeah, very good smoke though.
파괴되었습니다.
yeah, I mean, they have the ward, still didn't get dewarded, so they were able to see Danny. And they're able to see other heroes too. Do you cut down the mango tree? Very sad.
And now
다이어의 중국
the
포탑이
ancient stack.
공격받고
And this is
있습니다.
what Radiant needs to do, invade this Terrorblade, make him not comfortable around the map.
레디언트의 상부 포탑이
Magnus
공격받고
is pushing
있습니다.
top. Is choosing to go for the Vlads instead of an Echo Saber or a Blink immediately to help boost his Terrorblade's damage and lifesteal. Lifestealer bringing out a full Yasha.
Yeah, he's committing to the SMY.
레디언트의 짐꾼이
Does get
죽었습니다.
his carrier killed, but they do have Doom up if they choose to go for it. Doom has a point in Infernal Blade, maybe to TP cancel, but still not that big of a fan of this spell.
I don't know if the Venge just misplaced the Observer Ward for a Sentry. Because it's a very weird place to place your Ops as a deity.
Maybe.
But they're gonna smoke with Doom.
And they have Doom, they have Swap. Lifestealer definitely is going to be the target here. Oracle still doesn't have level 6. He might hit it off this last
다이어의
creep.
상부
Does
포탑이
not.
공격받고
He
있습니다.
is, I think,
But he's gonna die.
he is 15 health away from it, but he does.
The Clockwork's just gonna commit suicide.
Yeah, they're just getting 3 kills here.
레디언트의
That's
하부 포탑이
very
공격받고
unfortunate.
있습니다.
Oracle was 15 XP away from having his
다이어의
ult.
상부 포탑이 공격받고
I feel like
있습니다.
the worst part about that was all 3 kills went to the Terrorblade.
Yeah, that definitely helps Terrorblade a lot. Almost has the full Yasha flying out. Manta very soon. Doom does TP top into his death, so
다이어의 상부 포탑이 공격받고 있습니다.
Yeah, that was just a very bad TP by the Doom.
and they do get this top tower. Do not need to use
다이어의
exorcism
상부
for it.
포탑이 파괴되었습니다.
But if you're Radiant, I mean, you have this Lifestealer going S and Y. You might be a little bit concerned here. Even though it's only a 2k lead, this Terrorblade time bomb
다이어의
is
상부 포탑이
going to be
공격받고
ticking.
있습니다.
Yeah, it's the game
Thankfully,
good.
Danny just now finished his Dragonlance and doesn't really have a lot to go on top of it. I don't know. I'd go Midas still if I was Sniper. Screw it. Terrorblade's taking on my farm.
Like this is the issue of picking like Sniper as well. Like you got Terrorblade who wants to also hit the jungle creeps. And sniper needs a lot of farm to do anything in a game.
A really funny sniper build this game would have been Midas into Ags.
It would have been a good build though in this game.
I mean, I don't know if it'd be good because they have Oracle, they have OD, Astro, but if you get the Astro onto Danny, Clockwork isn't in position, but Rice Boi might be able to just blow him up. Does do so. Has the 4-staff out as well.
And here comes the
This is abused as well. It might, yeah, it's blowing up, but not sure what Halfcast was trying to do there. They have a Terrorblade Magnus. He's just going to get blown up. But they do get the Venge, however. Triple kill for Rice Boi. Now, big ult's traded. They exorcism for the RP. Obviously, Sanity used to kill Danny. And Lifestealer and Terrorblade just battling out in the bottom lane. SMY almost done for the Lifestealer, Manta almost done for the Terrorblade. Looks like Radiant getting 3 runes here. I mean, we can see just how far Sniper's game has fallen off now. Going for the 4-4-1 build as well, so not having that range. I mean, he does have the range with Dragonlance, but...
Yeah, you see, I would rather seen any hero in the mid lane that doesn't require much, like,
Why does it...
farm.
It's weird when I scroll over Sniper how it says his attack range is... Does take aim get added to the base attack range?
No.
Or does Dragonlance? Oh, that's super weird. It should be plus 240, right? Alright, meanwhile, there's kills top, there's kills bottom.
Should be plus 240 at the moment.
Yeah. Actually, I think both those kills were top. Yeah. They killed the Magnus. Killed the Oracle. Yeah, I mean, they do have the Venge as well, to where Venge Aura does give him an extra 125.
공격받고 있습니다. 레디언트의 구조물이 강화되었습니다.
I mean, that is a good reason to, sort of a good reason to avoid having to use taking.
Doom getting gone on in the bottom lane, not really much to save him. Just going to get sucked to death.
So the Lifestealer is going MKB.
I mean, he kind of has to. There's not really another item. I mean, you could try to go Mjolnir, but there's nothing wrong with going MKB here.
I mean, also deals with the Terrorblade's choice of talents at 10. And Rice Boi dies.
You use the RP for it, nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, trade an RP with Sanities.
Oh, you use Sanity?
Yeah, use Sanities.
It's unfortunate.
다이어의 하부 포탑이 공격받고 있습니다.
Use Sanities in an attempt to
강화되었습니다.
kill whoever was there and just didn't have enough mana in
It's like
comparison.
Minicolt going for BKB instead of the Scotty.
다이어의 하부
Doesn't really care about anything that isn't
파괴되었습니다.
a Sanity's Eclipse. Halfcast going BKB of his own. They do get the bottom tower. Clockwork going for his own halberd. Doom bringing out.
레디언트의 중부
Just the
포탑이
Vambrace.
공격받고 있습니다.
I mean, Danny's almost at his pike. Rice Boi's almost at his Ags. They do get the hook on the Magnus.
Like, the only concern I have for the Dark teams, they have no 4-stars against this lineup. Whereas a very good 4-star team.
Yeah, I mean, they have one now, but you have Venge who's going for a Medallion. You have Doom who's going for a Halberd. You have Magnus who's going for a Blink now after Vlad's. I don't know. If you're Doom here, you might just consider going for a 4-staff. I know Halberd's really good here, but...
Yeah, 4-star is much better. Because you can always force them away from the Lifestealer. You got like the OD, if the OD just like blinks on 4-stars on top of you.
Yeah. Magnus and Doom have made a lot of space here, but at the same time, Magnus is falling off a little bit,
하부
and
포탑이
obviously
공격받고
Sniper not
있습니다.
having the Midas, just having to right-click jungle creeps that Terrorblade could have hit. Just a weird overlap of farm. Terrorblade about 1,000 gold from his BKB here. Ags completed on Rice Boi. Lifestealer about 1,900 gold from his MKB. Dire smoking up. They don't have a Blink Dagger, but might be looking just for a nice offensive swap or skewer play here.
The real confusing thing about the optimization of Dire is they have Avenge, and yet the Magnus goes Lats.
I'm not really sure. Oh, smoke on smoke. Radiant just smoked out there.
Oh,
Big
this is good RP.
RP from Magnus coming out. They do ult the Death Prophet on the Oracle. Trading away supports right now. They're just blowing up Death Prophet, blowing up Clockwork as well, and the Oracle.
And
They just do Rice Boi and they can't do anything else.
Yeah, that, like the Oracle did what he's done to do because he did the draft.
Oh,
So
Rice Boi does turn around though with the sanities, is able to get almost enough to kill Danny. Not enough though.
Danny does Soul Survivor.
9 deaths in the fight, Danny being the only one left. That knockback on Sniper with the Hurricane Pike proving to be the difference. So overall, looks like everyone just died. Also, Danny getting gone on middle. I don't think he's dying here though.
No, he's got his Hurricane Pike. So
There's way too many creeps here.
too many creeps, and Danny can't die.
I don't know what Clockwork is doing.
Okay, that just happened.
But anyways, nine heroes died there. Slight lead for Dire just because they got 5 kills and Terrorblade got 3 of them, but the real loser in that fight has to be the Life Stealer. Dying, not getting anything really from that, and he's not closer to his MKB. Terrorblade has the full BKB now for the next fight. Looking like he is one Scotty away from this game just being over.
Just like the Doom changes his mind, he's going also for a Blink Dagger. So he might be just hunting for the OD in fights with his Blink and just keeps dooming the OD.
I mean, this Oracle had to doom the Death Prophet in the last fight, which he might have to be doing. Magnus getting gone on top can just skewer away, except he's not. And now he is, but he's
too late, he's dead.
a bit unfortunate, but didn't have a TP up anyway. They do have to bring all 3 cores up there to kill him. So that is a lot of space for the Minicolt Terrorblade, as well as a little bit of Danny farming in the jungle.
But the only issue I'd say is where he died, and Death Prophet now has Exorcism. So this is like
Yeah, dying on his side of the map, especially before a push, is pretty bad. But they might be able to secure this bottom tier 2 as a trade.
레디언트의 구조물이 강화되었습니다.
But they're not even using Exorcism, so they can always use it for the push to the high ground.
I mean, if I'm Radiant here, I would just go Roche after this tier 2. Use Exorcism for that.
Yeah.
You see Radiant's bottom, they don't have... Like, you take this outpost, the only way they can get to Roche is through the tier 2 middle. And so you make sure that that is, like, warded around and you just go Roche with the Exorcism. Dire can't push high ground off this. And it looks like that's what they're going to do.
The Radiant tier 3 is taking some. Yeah.
I mean, it's just creep damage, it doesn't matter at this point. There's no way for Dire to really even check the Roche either. Like, they have Venge Wave, but that's kind of it. Like, Shrapnel, but either way, they'll be too late. Put the Aegis on the OD. They do have the MKB up now on the Lifestealer. Magnus blink very soon. Doom blink very soon. Danny going for his own MKB on the Sniper. Still has his Value Tango, his Good Luck Charm in his inventory.
it's always important to have a tango in your inventory, just
Hey,
in
he
case.
might need that HP regen.
Exactly. It's a potential 7 HP regen.
Very powerful. Magnus still top, might be going down again. Does buy out his blink. Does see the OD running at him, but
Gave it away very well. So
unfortunately Skewer kills literally all of those trees.
And it's another. But the strange thing is the OD and Lifesteal are just sharing farm.
I mean, he did have a haste rune on OD, I think, so
Yeah. But I think like the Lifesteal can just push the lane and let the OD deal with it. Like the
Maybe.
Magnus can't do much as soon as he skewers. Like, how is he gonna get out? He can TP, but the OD has the second Astral.
Oracle has the first item Ether Lens. A lot more range on all of the spells.
다이어의 중부
25-minute
포탑이
runes
공격받고
coming out.
있습니다.
Looks like nobody's touching top. Dire grabbing both the bottom. Minicolt getting close to that Scotty. Only about 1,200 gold away.
The major thing about Minicolt as well with
다이어의
his
중부
Terrorblade,
포탑이
he's causing
공격받고
trouble in the
있습니다.
bottom lane.
레디언트의
Yeah,
하부
he's just
포탑이
constantly shoving it
공격받고
in.
있습니다.
And
Yeah.
Radiant don't want to do anything about it. Dire does have the double blink up though. With the Doom and the Magnus.
That's like the hunting for Minicolt.
I mean, he knows they are though. Like, if you're at this level, you're going to see, oh, so-and-so hero isn't on the map, so I can't show, or so-and-so hero is on the map, so I can do this.
Yeah.
레디언트의 하부 포탑이 공격받고 있습니다.
Magnus back to the top lane, his rightful home. Does go for the shockwave damage over the strength.
A very interesting choice.
Usually you see that with not even the axe. The axe is a skewer now, but they do get the kill on the Doom. I guess they just ran him down.
Yeah, they did.
레디언트의 상부 포탑이
Doesn't even look like
공격받고
hookshot was
있습니다.
used.
레디언트의 상부 포탑이
He just got Spirit
파괴되었습니다.
Siphons and the open wounds came out and he's just food for Lifestealer now.
It's very unfortunate. Does go for the +2 Doom duration over the Scorched Earth movement speed. I know
Okay,
on core
right.
Doom you never go that, but Halfcast has an Invis rune. Very unfortunate hookshot to the creeps, but looks like Venge will live here. Terrorblade has the full Scotty, just has the courier bringing it to him. And I mean, not sure what Radiant's going to do against it. Last game they had the Rice Boi Wind Ranger to where he could just blow up the enemy Monkey King, but this game it might not be as easy. Like OD, yeah, he has a sanity, but Terrorblade has 1,400 mana. It's very big. Well, coming out from the Magnus. Are able to get a lot of damage onto Rice Boi, and he's going to end up falling with the Aegis. They did not use Doom for him, so they might just save that for him. Now, another hook shot into Rice Boi. Rice Boi ashling himself, looking like a very bad fight for the Radiant, not even needing to Doom him. Looks like he's just going to go down here. The Radiant trying to get a bit cheeky, but just punished by Dire's mobility and the Blink RP. Oracle did not use False Promise there. And
레디언트의
Lifestealer
중부 포탑이
has the Basher,
공격받고
but
있습니다. 레디언트의 구조물이
looking like at
강화되었습니다.
least a tier 1 and tier 2 for the Dire.
레디언트의 중부
Also,
포탑이
Danny got rid of his tango. This is
파괴되었습니다.
very sad.
레디언트의 중부
Yeah,
포탑이
he's gonna
공격받고
replace it with
있습니다.
Guarantee.
레디언트의
Hopefully
구조물이
he puts away
강화되었습니다.
But yeah, that like the Terrorblade now reaches like peak now, or like his timing.
There's not really much.
레디언트의
Oh,
중부 포탑이
Terrorblade has a solve now.
파괴되었습니다.
Nice. They're keeping the tradition.
But like the thing is, like the team doesn't do much to the Terrorblade outside the OD.
Yeah. I mean, this Death Prophet pops Exorcism and just gets shredded.
Yeah.
like exorcism and BKB and just get shredded. It doesn't matter if she's spirit siphoning forward
레디언트의 중부
targets.
포탑이
It's just
공격받고
she can't deal
있습니다.
with that amount of physical damage coming out. Plus the Scotty as well.
Yeah, so she don't even get as much regen as she'd like. Like them, like it's very difficult for their team to kill the Terrorblade. Like they have to try and kill everybody else in order to be able to kill the Terrorblades. And by then, the Terrorblades have probably already killed you.
Yeah, because even the Sanity, if you don't get a ton of charges on it, you're not getting this Terrorblade because he has 1400 mana already.
Yeah.
I don't even think he's had to use Sunder in a fight yet.
He used it once in the rush fight, but it was like minuscule HP gain.
Radiant smoking up again. Hopefully trying to find Danny. Lifestealer just kind of running in. They do get Danny though. Rice Boi getting doomed. Not much you can really do about it. Does get false promise, but probably will still go down. Lifestealer kind of caught in no man's land. Does blow up the Doom a little bit, but Lifestealer can't fight this. He can't fight that. Like, yeah. They're gonna give him the rampage.
레디언트의 하부
I feel like
포탑이
this game is
공격받고
over
있습니다.
already.
Yep, they give him the rampage. Yeah, this game is very close to being over, unfortunately. It's just hard for Radiant to fight up against this Terrorblade. Like, you almost have to back if he uses Metamorphosis, which is easier said than done because they have Doom Magnus Venge, but...
But you know, it's also bad when the highest armored hero on the Radiant team is DOD.
레디언트의 하부 포탑이 공격받고 있습니다.
I mean, it's just
파괴되었습니다.
classic Terrorblade hitting critical mass.
I wouldn't even say he's like critical mass, he's just like...
공격받고 있습니다.
I mean,
레디언트 하부
having
병력이 파괴되었습니다.
BKB Manta Scotty at like
레디언트의
28
하부
minutes,
병력이
27 minutes is pretty
파괴되었습니다.
critical mass, I think.
레디언트의
Yeah.
중부 포탑이 파괴되었습니다.
Yeah, I guess.
Like, obviously, yeah, now that he has the Daedalus, but... Once he had the Scotty, he got to the point where it didn't matter if he got Sanity's Eclipsed, he would still survive and be able to use the Sunder if he needed to.
Yeah.
At that point, it's just really hard for Radiant to fight.
But like, there's also like no real items on the Radiant side to be able to kite the TV in fights as well. Like the TV can always just stand its ground and just hit you.
I mean, honestly, Radiant needed to like disengage items from this. Obviously, OD has Blink, Pike, and Double Astral, but Clockwork is going Halberd for some reason. Oracle has just the Ether Lens.
Yeah.
It's just really hard because Radiant, once they're in a fight, they can't really disengage. Optimally, you'd be able to blow up the Terrorblade before he gets meta off, but even now that's really hard. He has BKB, he has the Sunder, he has the Venge swap. I mean, this was a 17-pick Terrorblade, so Radiant definitely had a couple picks that they could have tried to counter with, but unfortunately, the Death Prophet and OD just aren't able to do so. See, Magnus...
Also, another thing is they saw first pick Doom and they've allowed the Doom to have like a target it can just pick on.
Yeah, Rice Boi just getting doomed once again. Clockwork going into his
레디언트의
death
상부
as well.
포탑이 공격받고 있습니다.
Free courier.
레디언트의 짐꾼이 죽었습니다.
And let's see if Radiant can hold high ground here. I mean, Terrorblade only does 700 damage.
레디언트의 상부 포탑이
600.
파괴되었습니다. 다이어의 중부 포탑이 공격받고 있습니다.
Only 600 damage.
레디언트의 구조물이
Plus crit.
강화되었습니다.
Plus the increased base attack time.
I like how there's Terrorblade and like 5 Terrorblade illusions hitting the tower, and then there's just one like little US Danny sniper hitting the tower. It's like that picture where it's like the little brother playing the video game, but his controller's unplugged.
Yeah.
That's what this is right now with this Terrorblade and Sniper.
Don't worry, your big brother's doing your work for you.
If I wasn't... Also, when did they get bottom racks?
레디언트의 중부 포탑이 공격받고 있습니다.
Oh,
even
that
know.
was the previous one. That was when they wiped them with the Terrorblade, getting the
Yeah.
Rampage.
Yeah.
I was about to say, like, that happened definitely, but...
It
Oh,
happens.
that feels really bad on Magnus. He goes to BKB TP and he gets first hit bash.
I mean, you think you'd worry about that, but I don't think there's nothing to.
Minicolt is getting gone on, does have BKB, they do swap him out.
Like, all they're gonna get is Avenge though. Like,
Yeah, and they do use Exorcism for it. I really like the ghosts that are like the fish.
yeah, pretty cool.
Clockwork has to go defend bottom. This game is still technically winnable for Radiant. They do still have a lot of tower damage. They might even get this Roche, but
But there's like a minuscule chance that they can.
I mean, if they get to the Shivas on the Death Prophet, and if they can get to maybe a Clockwork Force Staff or... Lifestealer bought out for Abyssal, which I think is a step in the right direction, but...
I don't know if the Abyssal is gonna be enough. That's the issue. Like, I don't like. He needs to be the one killing everyone else in the fights, but he has to somehow avoid the Terrorblade.
Yeah, Terrorblade is going Butterfly, even though Lifestealer does have the MKB. I mean, Terrorblade has so much damage on top of that, as well as the other heroes not being able to kill it. I mean, Terrorblade, I don't think he can go Rapier here, but...
I think the Butterfly's still pretty good though, because what hero is the ones that's gonna kill the Terrorblade? It's the OD. What's OD want to do? He wants to right click you.
I mean,
And,
even if he goes like Satanic, I think it's fine.
like, yeah, it'd be fine. Still be fine with Satanic, but like even Butterfly, like OD doesn't want to build like a Monkey King buff. So like, and since the OD is the only one that can really kill you, he has to rely on hitting everyone else and not you.
They do get the jump onto Danny. He does get swapped out, and that's pretty much the end of that. Death Prophet is bottom. Does not have bots. Dire does smoke up, seeing that she is bottom. She's not joining the rest of her team. Radiant might be caught out. They see Death Prophet bottom. They're going to get Rice Boi here. A bit awkward engagement. He does get ulted by Oracle very early on.
Top left just boom now.
Oh, they do get the nice skewer back. Rice Boi going down. And this looks like it's going to be GG here. Halfcast is just YOLOing. He's like, we're losing either way, I'm going in.
And you might get Danny.
That's a 10-second BKB. Luxuries of being up 16k. And they won the fights, didn't have to use Doom.
Only half cast, that's fiber.
Yep.
I don't know. I think you'd just call it GG about 10 minutes ago when Minicolt got a rampage.
I mean, I don't think you call it then, but yep, they definitely call it now. Alright, let's move over to the Sleepy Travis game. Alright, why? Oh, I'm in a friggin' lobby, that's why I
다이어가
can't watch it.
승리했습니다.
There we go.
Alright, time to watch Sleepy Travis.
Yeah, I don't think there was any realistic way that they could win that game as soon as Minicolt got to his 3 items. Because there's no.
Looking at this game, very close game.
레디언트의 하부
Have a
포탑이
Aqua
공격받고
Drow
있습니다.
Ranger, Travis, Jakiro, Apex
레디언트의
on
하부
the
포탑이 파괴되었습니다.
Phantom Assassin. Interesting Brewmaster pick. Sleepy feeding on Storm Spirit, very common.
I feel like the positivity of this game is for Trav's team is Trav hasn't died as many times as last time. It's the Golden Boy taking the job.
Oh my god. Rubik and rd2l, not played by a great play. Oh my god, that Rubik just...
가장 아름다운
Okay.
Well, that's another death.
재생파.
He goes for the blur evasion on PA, which... I mean,
Strange.
it makes you have to... Definitely makes you have to use a different... or do a different build, so...
And that's a BT.
I mean, you can go the armor corruption. I think it still works with the manta bug, where you can get the triple armor corruption, but...
I don't think it matters when PA is in its current.
Oh my god, that Trav2s
공격받고 있습니다.
almost melts.
레디언트의 하부 포탑이 공격받고
The
있습니다.
really good Monkey King ult from Bobby, though. Looks like they're going to be able to get the tusk.
레디언트의 구조물이
Sleepy
강화되었습니다.
doesn't have an Ags. Very sad. You hate to see it.
레디언트의 하부 포탑이
And it looks like
공격받고
Brewmaster's
있습니다.
just going to die for it. So they do get the Legion, but not able to push up high ground anymore. It's kind of a weird fight from the Dire team. Yeah.
내 손에 죽는 것을
Well, that's
영광으로
17
생각하라.
deaths.
Right, so Rubik is 3 deaths away, and if his team manages to win, they can have the Malcolm. He can have the Malcolm Award.
You guys want to join the cast? Or just watching Travis versus
Game.
Toth?
Nice.
Very sad we lost game 2.
Just Minicolt Terrorblade doing Minicolt Terrorblade things?
Don't think you had any real ways to kill the Terrorblade.
I think if he picked Zeus instead of OD, we might have done better.
Yeah, we were thinking you'd pick Zeus because you guys
Zeus and OD, but Rice Boi said he wanted to play OD.
got them because they thought it was a mid death prophet, but I knew it would be a half-cast death prophet.
I said Zeus or Ember Spirit.
Game, they just sacrificed at mid lane. They had their 5 just AFK top. Was insane.
Yeah, we said at the end of the game there was like Minicolt plus 5 Minicolt illusions sitting in the tower, and Danny's are next to him. It's like when the little brother's playing the video game with his controller unplugged. That's what
It's like
Danny's sniper was that game.
Both games, like we're diving Danny behind tier 2s, and their 5 players just AFK in top
아이어의
lane.
상부
just
포탑이
I mean, they know the win
59
condition.
creeps. It's insane. It was even worse in the game 1. They had 2 heroes sitting with Minicolt.
Yeah, game 1 they just they gave up Timbersaw's game, which I mean, I guess they thought Timbersaw would do well against Lifestealer in a 1v1, but it wasn't a 1v1. There was an ogre there for half the time.
Yeah, it's like also like game 2 they just pick like Doom Magnus, so they just Doom Rice Boi or Kimi.
Yeah, it's a lot easier
Lifestealers
execution.
counter. And easier if you had a Zeus, because it's hard for them to get on top of him.
Yeah, you can always cancel the Blink Dagger too. The thing that confused me as well, though, with their team is they had a Magnus and a Venge, and the Magnus went to Vlads, and not the Venge.
Oh, I need to be having net worth up here.
Yeah, the PA is 5k ahead of the draw.
This Rubik is very.
Christ, these didn't jump that.
Rubik
I
is-
mean, it just killed one killing.
Oh, would he have died? Maybe.
if he crit
he-
that, he would have jumped. I think. I mean, Rubik.
The Rubik just dies to 1 crit anyway at the moment.
Don't think
Rubik
one.
is the guy that is flaming Bobby.
I'm not particularly keen on Bobby's Monkey King build.
scanning.
Outside of the Echo, I think it's fine.
Yeah.
I mean, they get
Really
the
good
Doom
deal.
on the PA, but don't know if that's the Doom target. Bobby almost gets.
I mean, it's a good Doom target. If
The
you
issue is
have
they
to-
had no one else jump the PA there, because they would have actually killed the PA.
Yeah.
I get,
Oh,
I
do
get
get
her.
him. That's Sleepy needs
Oh.
like an Ags or something. Like, I don't know what he's doing in these fights. Like, he'll jump on a hero and that hero BKBs, and he'll jump on another hero and that hero BKBs.
He needs to go on the
레디언트의
supports, I
중국
think.
포탑이 공격받고 있습니다.
I mean,
Just 2 buybacks, and they still have the Brewmaster ult. But I don't think they're.
they use 2 buybacks and they're still not even contesting.
These 2 buybacks on both sides, I think, right? Or is it just
다이어의
I think
하부
just
포탑이
Dire.
공격받고
If Radiant fought back, I
있습니다.
think they just lost Legion, lost Rubik.
How did
레디언트의
Brewmaster
중국
die
포탑이
off the
공격받고
body?
있습니다.
So he died without getting off ult. He just died in BKB.
다이어의 하부 포탑이
I
파괴되었습니다.
don't know if he used BKB. He has a 9-second left. I think he might have just gotten blown up by Drow, Jakiro.
That was like the really good duel, but they had no one jump the PA with her. This PA almost died to just the blade mill alone. If like one more hero was hitting her, I think she would just died in duel, and that fight goes even better for the.
Also, this Legion has 250 dual damage before level 25.
I actually think, yeah, if she gets like one more item, she just solo kills PA in duel.
Yeah, this is where Legion Commander stops being a grief hero in rd2l. Like when you have a divine player that actually plays it. Before then, I think it's a grief pick. Because like if you put a legend player on this PA, it's like, okay, this PA has 50 dual damage and like 5k less net worth at this time. You'd much rather have some brain dead offlane pick.
Are you flaming when I play Legion Commander in the offlane?
Yes.
And even though I won, we still won the game because I just dueled the troll.
Yes, I'm still not a fan of it.
Fantastic hero.
I mean, I also don't like Rubik and rd2l, and this Rubik is 0 and 18.
He's just PA juice. Don't flame him. I'm pretty sure 14 of his deaths will
I mean,
be
yeah, like all this guy does now at this point. I'm pretty sure it's just blink in and
Like, why does he have a blink
make
dagger?
space.
Like,
because he's just like
To
he's
be
one of
fair,
those players
watching his
that gets
positioning,
blocked.
I'm pretty sure like the best thing for him to do in these fights is just blink in and suicide to get vision, so LC can get a good duel.
That's his job now, isn't it?
alright, Sleepy all chatting.
Like, I
Good.
actually just think that's like a good plan for him, honestly. Because it feels really bad when you have to be the first one to go in as LC, because you kind of just want to wait and get the best duel target you can.
환영
Like with this Rubik gameplay, pretty sure Rubik just suicides in on like get vision.
You just want to get PA when she's BKB, and then you could just punish
Alright,
it.
they are smoked up, looking for something.
I'm
Top is
thinking-
very far up.
I think on LC at this point, you kind of want to get PA without BKB, because you just kill her. You get Blade Mail in return.
But Blade Mail doesn't matter with BKB.
Doesn't it?
다이어의 상부
No,
포탑이
it
공격받고
affects
있습니다.
whatever damage you're being dealt.
Oh,
so
okay.
because it's physical damage. So she'd be like LC would be better off getting AC just to like.
Alright,
That's interesting.
BKB
What?
used on the Brewmaster. I'm not really sure why Dire's fighting.
Oh, that's really bad.
PB
Oh, Sleepy gets out, but PA is dead.
Dire, Sleepy doesn't get out.
No,
Sleepy
I
doesn't
think
get.
He gets
Trav killed.
it's a Macropire. I
He
mean,
zipped out, but I think he just died.
the dot for Macropire is really long.
다이어의
I mean,
Oh,
they're getting a
Zombies is
couple.
공격받고 있습니다.
That was refresher shard used on
Yeah.
Monkey. Oh, this is really. PA dies her this game.
Yeah. Oh, she gets the satanic, but oh, she got the crit.
Oh, she got on Drow. That was the big one.
Oh, she got the crit. That's big.
I don't think she was also dealing damage to Monkey because he was alone, but she managed to get on Drow.
That's
They need to get out on Monkey.
game saving.
Yeah.
Cause she used satanic and she wasn't healing, but then she got the one crit and healed back to full.
I don't not like this BKB pickup on Sleepy.
I think he's worried about the silence in here. That's the issue.
And Sleepy, this is a super feels bad man game for him. So Rubik 0-19, only one death to go.
Has Roche dropped an axe yet?
I think it was probably
No,
third Roche with Shard.
Okay.
I don't think they've taken 4 Roches this game.
So Sleepy Ags would be very good this game.
I think Ags, I think Shivas. Screw it. I don't know. I mean, I guess Rubik Lift and Duel are why he got Lincolns, but I don't know.
I think their issue this game is crowd control because the Brewmaster isn't really doing much.
When do you
Like
think,
Ags on him would be huge.
feel like the PA might kill the Rubik as soon as he shows again?
I feel like the Rubik might kill himself when he shows again.
True.
Jakiro has a
레디언트의
blink
하부
dagger, that's
포탑이
really cool.
공격받고 있습니다.
Travis
it's
going
Trav.
for the style plays.
I feel like he's Sleepy's just way too far behind to like go for a late
레디언트의
game
하부
steal.
포탑이 공격받고 있습니다.
Which utilities can.
I mean, he's trying not to die with the BKB, but he's not doing any damage. Like, he hit
Ags.
25 just now. No D-push, but
Honestly, think like Ag's Bloodstone would be really good.
yeah, they didn't force the draw buyback, which kind of sucks, but...
They're buying time for PA's buyback though.
And she has the full Abyssal now.
Alright, what would be epic this game is a Lich Ags.
I mean,
Lich
the
Ags
Lich,
plus Storm Ags. I want to see the Wombo combo.
the Lich is pretty fun to be fair. It has like Lotus Orb.
And, yeah, I don't think he can get Ags until like... He could honestly probably get Ags here. It wouldn't be a complete grief. Probably wants a Ghost Pepper though.
Alright, nobody on Dire having the telescope. That's a feels bad, man.
That should help. Alright, the epic item on Sleepy would be an E-Blade. E-Blade your PA when she gets dueled.
Oh, that'd be poggies.
Because they don't, I guess, Jakiro, but it's like the only piercing damage they have through E-Blade, or magic damage. Lich E-Blade would honestly not be a grief. Because I don't think this Tusk is going to try and save PA. Oh, so close to being really good for them. Oh, she gets Satanic off. That's big.
Wait, no, she didn't.
PA got it off the duel.
Wait,
No,
she didn't.
She just
after.
likes it that much. That was just her just likes
Oh
it.
no!
No, she got it after duel.
Oh, okay. Thought she got it off the duel. They actually winning the fight.
They won though. I think they've won now.
Oh, they won the fight. That was...
I mean, it's,
레디언트의 상부 포탑이 공격받고 있습니다.
that's a really bad RNG for Radiant, because nobody hit the PA during that.
Yeah. It's like the second time in a team fight where PA just dies in duel with like one hero hits it. They also got really great lucky on Radiant that Bobby didn't get stunned without using BKB. Because if Sleepy zipped a little bit earlier, Bobby wouldn't have been able to pop BKB.
I mean, Dire doesn't have split, and they do have... It's gonna be a 3v4. They're gonna have Chain Frost up, but...
It's all up to LC. This fight's all up to LC. They can get a good duel.
Oh no, the PA's level 30. It has triple daggers.
Triple daggers, plus armor corruption,
레디언트의 구조물이
plus extra
강화되었습니다.
lifesteal.
Yeah, I honestly think you're just better off giving up a lane, though. That's really hard to fight without.
I mean,
Oh!
Aqua Robe did.
And there we go.
다이어의
He does a buyback.
공격받고 있습니다.
LC's not buybacking. This is very big.
I mean, she's gonna be alive in 2 seconds. That's very good for Radiant.
They can catch. They can catch them here. It could actually turn on them really.
다이어의
Could end
하부
up really
포탑이
bad for them if
공격받고
they
있습니다.
get turned
Like,
on.
Aqua Robe gets a lot of flack for a lot of, like...
They.
Okay, Bobby.
That's...
Okay, Bobby.
We got the Satanic, but he's not hitting any... Oh, we... Go. Oh, Apex is out of mana, though. He can't... Or it doesn't matter at this point, but...
Bobby's here, though.
This is so
There we
That
go.
sad.
Sleepy got a regen. I was saying if they're chasing, they need to be really careful that they
Yeah,
don't get turned on.
I don't know why they chased. That was a really good fight. Like, they were able to get the Brewmaster and didn't even need to have the PA or the LC buyback, but I don't know where they chased. Like, that was really good from Radiant. Aqua Road bought back, like, fed and bought back to save that lane, but
I'm confused by
When I
Bobby
saw
bought
when I saw Bobby and Drow like find the PA, I thought Elsie was gonna come PA, but Elsie went on the Lich instead. Like, I think maybe that could have worked off if he would have PA there.
I'm
that's just
confused why
really
Bobby
rough.
went buff like over Skadi.
I mean, your clones don't get the Scotty part, but I don't know,
Even
it's
so,
just,
you're always gonna go for the PA.
it's
even
kind of
if
a
you think-
weird timing on Monkey King where there might not be like one singular item.
PA is gonna have buyback, but so did Travis.
Oh, Travis alive.
Oh,
Rubik,
Rubik gone?
Rubik 21 deaths. Sleepy's dead.
Oh, I was like, he almost didn't die there because of the bash. What the heck? Travis all tanking.
Travis all chatting and then dying right afterwards.
Oh, returning.
Well,
레디언트의 중국 포탑이
this game was
공격받고
just
있습니다.
Apex doing Apex things.
Yeah.
Rubik not winning with 21 deaths. Very cool.
다이어가 승리했습니다.
0-21.
Was. They had chances to win it on there, right? Oh, the Rubik's all tanking.
Yeah, well, it's because fucking Travis said dog, and I went woof woof, and great.
Travis says dog and then dies literally the split second after he says dog.
Hey, it's because I died when I went. I don't know why I used. I should have PKB'd.
Alright, post game interview.
100 ping is the. I don't know why I play PST. 100 ping is unplayable.
How do you think it feels to
Sleepy
be me then?
excuses.
It is. It's going to be my excuse.
Sleepy
I
not,
always play on 100 when I play in North America. What are you complaining about?
Sleepy not getting an Ags. This is so sad.
Yeah, I was just like, yeah, I'm just gonna buy 6 defensive items. You know, tired of dying.
What thoughts on?
Did you guys see game 1?
No, I was
Who won?
casting
We
the other
We
series.
killed
saw some.
top 6 minutes at 3 minutes, and we fucking lost.
You guys lost getting one. What the heck?
Yeah, there's no. We should not have lost game 1, but I just insta die every fucking fight.
Because you picked OG.
So
you deserve to lose.
our centaur didn't know that if you ulti, it's global. You can hear it anyway.
OD, cringe hero.
Oh my god.
You lost with OD,
Alright.
Rice Boi lost with OD.
Oh wait, Avcast, did you guys win?
We won
Wow.
one.
Oh, so did we. Wow.
That team is like insanely bad outside of
Yeah, but you
Minicolt.
know, if that guy's really good on his heroes. I don't know what in God's name what crack he's smoking, but I need some.
Okay, time to end the stream.
Did you actually stream it?
Yeah, of course.
We had Miyushi in there talking.
Alright. If anybody watches this later on, then I feel sorry for you.